So, what's that old saying? Life happens when you're making other plans. So, this last week, I've been dealing with COVID. And I'm sure a lot of you out there have already had COVID. Maybe you're going through it right now. Maybe you had it in the first wave or the Delta wave or what all the many waves we've had. I may have actually had COVID the first time back in December of 2020. I was never officially diagnosed, but my doctor believed I had COVID. I felt like I had COVID. I was really sick for about 10 days, and then gradually, it faded away. But I had kind of an atypical presentation at the time. I basically had gastrointestinal symptoms, which I guess about 20% of people tended to get. So, anyway, I have been vaccinated. I received a booster shot about 10 months ago, I guess it was. I did not get the second booster because I had read about it and it basically said it wasn't providing much protection against these new variants. So, anyway, the long story short is I had a close friend who came down with it. And so when I developed symptoms a few days later, it wasn't a great mystery to me. This friend, he doesn't know where he got it though, because he also had been vaccinated and boosted and that sort of thing. I also have been wearing masks when I go to the grocery store or to any place indoors where there's usually a bunch of people. I have not been eating at restaurants. So I've been probably more cautious than I would say the majority of people are. But the point is, anybody can get this, and you could get this at any time. So I wanted to tell you a little bit about my experience with this, but also some takeaways I have about it. So again, my name's Allison. This is my Elder Gal journey. Welcome. It's a strange one this week. I basically got sick a few days after my friend came down with symptoms. And my symptoms were a little different. So my friend basically had like a sore throat, runny nose, congestion, also fatigue, kind of weakness, that sort of thing. But my main symptom from the very beginning was kind of a fatigue and a weakness, and muscles just kind of felt shaky. I had a headache, eyes kind of hurt. I've had pressure in my sinuses, but I've never really had sinus congestion per se. I've not had a runny nose, never had a sore throat. I knew that it probably, like I said, was COVID because I had this friend that he actually went up to a clinic and got a definitive test and was definitely positive. I did take a home test this past Saturday. And I was kind of skeptical it would even show up because I'd been told that on the home test some of these newer variants don't really show up. But it did, actually. I did get a little pink line, and that meant that I had COVID, so it was really official. I've now had symptoms for about a week. I would say overall I feel better. It's been slow though. First 4 days were really, didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to function. I basically, could go to the bathroom and get food and stuff like that, but other than that, I just didn't really do anything. So it is better, but I noticed that the symptoms come and go. In other words, I can have a headache one day, not the next day. I can have pressure in my sinuses, on Tuesday, but not on Wednesday, and then it can come back on Thursday. So it's kind of been an off and on thing, and I'm sure any of you that have had COVID, you can probably identify with this. So I'm hopeful that I'm, on the mend, definitely on the upside of recovery here, and want to get back to walking on a regular basis and be able to play a lot more music. I noticed I even tried practicing music the other day, and just after 10 or 15 minutes, I just got really fatigued. So anyway, it's not, even though this is a pretty mild version of COVID, this new variant, I guess it's the BA.5, it's still not fun. It's definitely not fun. And it's bad enough in some people that it's still requiring hospitalizations, and even it has killed some people, even this new version. So the thing is, I wish this wasn't a part of our reality. Unfortunately, it is a part of our reality, and we're probably going to see more variants as time goes on. I'm hopeful that they will get less and less severe. and serious, and it will be no more than just a minor bug that you get as you go along. So let's, fingers crossed. But I wanted to share with you one major takeaway I had this year. It felt like a year. It was a week that felt like a year. Anyway, this past week while I was sick with this, which is that it's still important to be grateful for things, even when bad things happen to you. So even when you get sick with something, there's always an aspect of it to be grateful for. And the thing that was a real takeaway for me in the last couple of days was I was talking to a friend of mine on the phone, and I said, I'm not grateful I got COVID. I'm not a big fan of saying, oh, I'm grateful I got this disease or that disease or whatever. I don't think it's necessarily important to be grateful for the disease itself. But what is important is to still be grateful for what you do have. So first of all, I was grateful it wasn't as serious as it could have been. I could have been a lot more sick, could have been, a lot more debilitated from it. I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful that I'm healthy enough to have warded it off to some degree. I'm grateful that I can still do the things I want to do, and that I'm on the mend. I'm grateful that I have friends in my life. I'm grateful that I have a roof over my head. I'm grateful that I didn't have to worry about, I'm retired, so I didn't have to worry about being off work. There's a lot of things about it that made me grateful, and I think the takeaway from that for me, I know I've said the word takeaway for like 5 times now. The big message for me about it all is that even when we're going through something challenging, it is important to be grateful. And there's always something to be grateful for. There's always several things to be grateful for in your life at all times. I follow a lot of people that I watch on YouTube that are going through much more severe things than I've ever been through in my life. And you know what? They're very strong people, and I'm sure they're still grateful for the things they do have in their life too. It is important to acknowledge that there's always something good that you can be grateful for. And it's also important to acknowledge that things could always be worse, and to be grateful they're not. And I think for me, that was the big message of the week of having COVID. So until next time, be well, keep moving forward every day. Thanks.